stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody. I just want to give a reminder, since I don't think it's actually written here anywhere, we do have comment cards. For if anybody has a question, you can write your question down and submit it into us, and then when the public is able to speak, you can come up. And just a reminder that there is a 3-minute rule. Oh, and where are the cards right now? They should be over there. Oh, in the back. The table is in the back. So feel free to grab one and fill it out. And yeah, just have a motion to present for those district cards. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna hand this over to the superintendent.
Our Assistant Superintendent and Operations will continue to talk about some of the proposed capital improvements in the upcoming month.
Thank you, Dr. Geller. So you see here we have the proposed large-scale capital plan.
Switch on the side.
On July 22nd, we reviewed the scope of work for the high school. Those of you may remember who were here, or maybe you're watching it online, totaling approximately $40 million. So I just want to quickly recap what we did at our last meeting, and that included the new classroom space for marine science, carpentry, technology, and robotics, the new wrestling room that we're proposing, a new main entrance and walkway that's on the north side of the campus. On the bay side, additional bathrooms for students and for staff. Also, that access to the public who are using the fields. So that was something that we received a lot of requests about, bathroom access for those who are on the fields, cafeteria renovation, and family and consumer science classroom renovation, locker room renovation, both for the girls and the boys, baseball and softball field renovations, alumni field turf replacement, so the field at the high school is called Alumni Field, so we're replacing that turf, and to repair a variety of building maintenance systems relating to HVAC, which is heating, ventilating, and air conditioning, ceilings, walls, and doors, as well as some accessibility upgrades. So that's a very quick recap. For anybody that wants some more detail, please, it's on the website. It's what we did on July 22nd. We went through that in detail. The district's building aid ratio is 42.4%, which means for every eligible dollar, and most of this project that we're presenting is eligible for building aid, for every eligible dollar we get back 42 cents in state building aid. And that's really important because a lot of people don't realize that we get building aid when we do construction of this type. Here's another look at the floor plan, which is the first floor, like the ground level at the high school. And again, it's here just as a quick review. This is where our new marine science classroom we're proposing. This is a build out of space that's right now open. Right? This was the extension we put on about 15 years ago. It's all open over here now, and now it's our chance to build that out and add some additional space over at the high school, marine science classroom, additional classroom space. Down here, the mirror image, carpentry and wood shop. We want to put in a new carpentry CTE program and relocate the wood shop. The wood shop is currently over here. So we'd like to relocate over there into this new space, but also use it for our new carpentry program. These are going to be the outside access to bathrooms. For those who are on the field, they can just go right here, not into the building, but have access to it on the outside, and some inside student bathrooms here. So we'll get both. On this side is robotics and technology classroom, something that we've also been asked for additional space for robotics and for technology. And then there's going to be this walkway that goes from this marine science classroom all the way over to the elevator, which is over here. So that we have any students that need to walk, they don't have to go outside the building. They'll be able to be inside a building through a walkway and go the full length of that north side of the building over there. We're looking at a new entranceway to really have it more like an entranceway. We really don't have that over at the high school. So this is what this is, just a little bit more of a substantial entryway. Auto shop is going to remain. Metal shop will remain, but we want to put in some new utilities to upgrade that space for our students. Moving along, some more interior student bathrooms, more bathrooms over here for students as well, and then the new wrestling room with locker rooms for both the girls and the boys and coaches' offices to complete this new space, which is now keeping cardio, keeping the weight room here, incorporating that here weight room, cardio space, so they'll have access as well to those spaces. And this is right now part of the wood shop and the photo lab that will be relocated. That's what the current use is at this point. So that's a review of some of the new items that we're talking about for proposing as a bond-supported large-scale capital plan. At this point, what we're looking for the board is that date of October 28th. That's what we've been talking about. Again, no tax impact. Just want to reiterate that. And now let's talk a little bit more, is the high school cafeteria that we shared last time, about some of the other areas in the district where we'd like to do some work. So let's talk about the middle school scope of work. We'd like to complete the installation of the new HVAC building-wide, which at this point will be phase 4. We've been doing it gradually over the last several years, funding in 3 different appropriations and also from our capital reserve fund. So we'd like to complete the HVAC installation building-wide over in the middle school and at Lido Elementary. Renovate the locker rooms at the middle school, install new windows in the 300s hallway. Those are original windows that for the most part are opaque at this point, so we want new windows there. Replace all the interior doors of the hallways and upgrade our natural grass fields. So we're looking to do a complete overhaul of our natural grass fields, with the community uses quite a bit we want to do aeration, we want to do better drainage, and of course put it inside. At the elementary school, the picture comes up. I don't know why that picture isn't showing. We're talking about mechanical ventilation and air conditioning throughout all of our elementary schools, something that we've been talking about for years, and that we were going to use a bond-supported large-scale capital plan as a way of making sure all of our elementary schools have mechanical ventilation, which means that it's not just opening a window to get fresh air, but there are ventilation that comes in mechanically and air conditioning of all of our spaces in every elementary building. Playground upgrades, we're going to spend some time on, showing you some ideas that we have that will develop further in the future. Bathroom renovations, these are just some general items that go across all of our elementary schools, and maintenance items. Again, just basic maintenance that we want to do for our windows, doors, and ceilings. So here's some ideas that we have in terms of elementary playgrounds, some samples, some renderings. You see here, I want to point out some of the covered spaces because we don't have a lot of trees here in terms of what we have close to the beach. But, you know, lots of different play spaces for our kids. Here's one that incorporates a little bit of green. That's what I want to show here. Also incorporates some basketball courts. So, you know, we're talking east and west for a complete overhaul of their playgrounds, and just some ideas that we're going to be working through over the next few months. Again, not necessarily green space here, but just some more of the blue space with no wood chips. So we're moving away from those wood chips. Some more ideas, and again, with the principals, with the PTA, with some building committees, we'll take a look at all these different features and decide what's going to be best for that particular school. Lots of ideas. This is on a different company, just, you know, we're not necessarily locked into this Burke company, but they do have a lot of great play spaces. But, you know, we'll introduce some other companies as well in terms of vendors and what they have to offer. One of the things that we want to do at Lindell is there's this south play area that's really for pre-K and K that we want to replace that unit there. The north playground we're going to leave as is. But the south playground we want to put in a new surface and a new play area there for Lindell and add something, an additional piece of equipment for Lido. So we're also talking about Lido. I'm going to go through this somewhat quickly. It's on the website. You'll be able to refer to it. But at the Lido complex, which is Lido Elementary and the middle school, we're talking about Sidewalk curb replacement, that's a safety matter. The athletic field reconstructions that I was just mentioning in terms of the filtration, the aeration, the sod over the back of the middle school, exterior walls that need some masonry reconstruction, windows, I mentioned earlier in terms of replacing those opaque windows, the locker room reconstruction over in the middle school, girls and boys, ceiling replacement, interior doors, the HVAC that we talked about, the ventilation systems, courtyard reconstruction, something that was requested by the Lido principal is to redo the pond area, they call the habitat, and make it so that the kids use it. And it's a little bit more user-friendly. The bathroom has to be renovated in these areas, auditorium reconstruction for, that's listed here, the playground, and we want to do some handicap accessibility matters. Lindell Elementary School, again, some safety on the asphalt that's around the building. Playground, I have shown you a prototype for the south side, exterior doors, the exterior steps leading out from the kindergarten classrooms as well as the auditorium. We want to make that safer. So a lot of the maintenance items that you'll see here has to do with safety, that we just want to make more safe. Auditorium renovations in terms of backstage, as well as the front of stage with some additional lighting, help out with some storage, make it safer. Right now there's a loft area in the back of the Lindell stage, so we want to improve that so we can get access to it in a safer way. Fire escape needs to be fixed, some exterior lighting replaced. Again, flooring, ceilings, ventilation here at Lindell. That's the mechanical air and cooling, water heater replacement, and also some handicap accessibility improvements. At East Elementary School, complete overhaul of the playground, the whole play space. Again, I showed some different ideas of what we're thinking about. One of the things that we're talking about is how to make it accessible for all students. So whether the entire playground itself is going to be something that's accessible or parts of it, we're working through some of those things, but it is a priority for us to really make sure that our playground, in particular at East, is accessible for all students in the community. Exterior doors, windows, some carpet replacement, ceilings, and ventilation here at East, which is a big priority for us. West Elementary School, again, the playground and the field that we had shown you some prototypes, some sidewalk safety issues around West, interior wall, and again, the ventilation. So you'll see through the elementary, the big number for all of our elementary schools is the heating, ventilation, and the air conditioning, and then the playgrounds, and then some of the other areas. Public library is our building, and that's why we have it here, so that we are responsible for the building envelope. So we want to replace the roof on the third floor, some windows, some doors, some caulking, and just some minor items in terms of a slop sink floor. So that's the highlights of what we're looking to do. The next board meeting is when we're going to decide on the final scope. That's the last chance that the board can really make in terms of deciding what's in and what's out, because we have to have something called the secret resolution on the agenda, because we need a certain amount of days for the board to take action before an October 28th vote on whether to support this bond-supported large-scale capital program. So this is really the last time to really talk about it without the board saying, okay, pencils down, this is what's going to be the final scope of work. So if there's anything that the board would like to have changed, anything additional, or anything removed, we have a couple of weeks to talk about it before the next meeting on September 7th, when that has to be the final scope of work, if we want to go forward with an October 28th vote. So that's the date, and you back into that, making sure we have 45 days to put those secret resolutions on, which we would say, the board would say that there's no environmental impact. So that's what the secret does, is there's a review to make sure that everything that we've talked about is not going to have any kind of adverse impact on our environment, and none of this would. But we do have to talk about that publicly, have it as a resolution, and the board has to take action on it. Any questions from the board?
So, I really want to thank you. I know I've been working on the committee with you, Pinto as well, trying to do what's best to maintain and to improve all of our schools. And it's a huge job. It's taken quite an amount of time for us. to talk about all the things that our schools need to keep them updated and to maintain them. I am so happy that we are putting air conditioning into all of our elementary schools. It is so important, especially now, we see the hot Julys and the hot Septembers. And I know that you've been very good at putting in air conditioning, but the fact that it's cleaner, clearer air with the HVAC systems for air conditioning, I think it's definitely a necessity. I see it now.
Yes, and it really is a difference by having what we're proposing now, which is a centralized air conditioning
Yes.
system versus the window units. The window units are nice to keep everyone comfortable, but a comprehensive HVAC, heating, ventilating, air conditioning, with the mechanical ventilation is something that's good long-term.
And I know that all of our schools, well, our elementary schools, they need their new playgrounds. I'm thinking though, like some of the prices for playgrounds just seem so high, and we're not even sure yet what type of playground structures we're going to be putting into them. So are those prices definite, or are we able to manipulate them?
Sure, a couple of things about that. They're placeholders, right?
Right.
It includes what could be a possible cost escalation. Something else to keep in mind that I want to repeat again is that if there is an October 28th vote, then the drawings have to go up to the state. They have to be approved. If we're lucky, right, and this is why we're trying to talk about an October 28th vote, they'll be able to start on the playgrounds next summer, summer of 26, to minimize any possible cost escalation from this summer. But it is built in there just in case we don't go forward in the summer of 26, and we have to wait till 27. So there is an 18%, I think I have it here, contingency included in there. We don't necessarily have to spend, like here at East School, $1.6 million, but there's a placeholder there for it. What we're asking the community for, if the board decides to go with this scope of work and these numbers, is permission to spend up to that, right? So we can certainly decide on what type of playground, what type of surfaces, the scope of it, and we'll try to be as efficient and cost conscious as possible, but this also is what it costs, right? So there's both. We'll try to do it as cost efficiently as possible, but this is what it costs to completely overhaul these playgrounds that we've been talking about doing, and we know that our families, our students, and our community want. So cost escalation factor is built in there. We may be able to come a little bit under, but I don't want to promise that we're going to do it much under that, because this is what our architect, John Grillo, has said. This is what they cost to do what we want to do, which is not just putting in a new piece of play equipment. It's completely overhauling those play spaces.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just a couple things. One, thank you for the hard work that you're putting into this, and those renderings look extraordinary. I know they won't look exactly like that, but they do. If they come close to that, I think we're going to have some amazing looking playgrounds. Interimly, I happened to pass East School today and noticed that our slide is closed off and the kids can't use it. What are the plans for the kids at East School until this happens?
Thank you for asking. The board may remember that we spoke about this a few months ago, where we finally discovered somebody that was able to identify the manufacturer of the play equipment. We had somebody come down, they ordered a part, the part came in and it turned out to be not the right part. So they had to go back, order something else. I did get word that that part is due in, I believe it's September 25th. Not easy to come by these things, but we put the order in about 4 or 5 months ago, and then they will install it. So the slide, that whole area that is now saved off, should be repaired around the end of September, and then the students will be able to have use of that equipment again until we get a new playground in, which if we do decide on October 28th, and if all goes well, will be next summer.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. I think we are up to student organization announcements already. Do we have any?
We don't, we will have a new student board representative though, once school starts.
Okay, questions and comments from the public on tonight's agenda only? Anybody? All right. Moving on, treasurer's report for June 2025.
No action required.
No actual request. Okay, approval of minutes for executive session and regular meeting of May 27th, 2025, executive session, and regular meeting of June 10th, 2025, executive session of June 26th, 2025.
Motion made.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
No.
Great.
So,
Ms. Conway?
yes.
Ms. Belsey?
Yes.
Dr. Ryan? And I vote yes. And now, presentations of the superintendent.
Thank you. I'd ask the board to consider item 1, certificated personnel.
Motion? Second.
Any discussion?
I just have a question concerning CC. Said 50 hours plus 44 additional hours, would it take place of 50 or should it take place of 40?
42 is in addition to 50.
Why is 90 hours?
There was difficulty in finding some of the staff members. It's being addressed by PPS, so that it won't have to be done. Some of the overlap there.
So was it difficulty in finding staff for summer school?
Which required some additional hours, and we added TAs, aides, teachers, sub-teachers, and then there was some new admits, that there appears to be some duplication of work between PS department and the SY program that we're going to try to streamline next year to reduce some of that duplication.
I find it hard to believe that it's 90 hours of preparation necessary. I just hope there's an oversight that exists happening this year. Going forward, I just cannot believe that 90 hours to develop a summer school program. When we have staff up until the last day of school and 12 months staff at PBS, we should be able to coordinate staffing for a summer program that begins a week later. I'm sorry to see that that wasn't the misprint that I thought it was, but it wasn't excessive nothing.
Noted.
Any other discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have another question, it's sort of a, just to educate me, it's concerning the certification of 1G. That English to speak this in other languages, is that a certification area?
Yes, TESOL.
Thank you.
Alrighty, Ms. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Belsey?
Yes.
Dr. Ryan?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
And I'd like to introduce some of the people who are here tonight who were appointed. First, congratulations to our own Rich Rogers. We had Dana Falk, who's one of our new school psychologists. We have Mike Speziali, who is one of our new special education teachers. And Alexander Osteen, in Austin. Perfect. He is our new career teacher. So welcome.
Thank you, welcome everyone.
And I'd ask the board to consider item 2, certificate of personnel. Not certificate.
Any discussion? Ms. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Belsey?
Yes.
Dr. Ryan?
Have a motion and a second on that?
Oh, sorry, second.
I'll second it. No discussion, I will pass.
Okay, and I vote yes.
I'd ask the board to consider items 3 through 15 together.
Any discussion? Do you need a motion? Yeah, do you need a motion?
Motion.
Make a motion.
Nora, you second?
I'll second, yes.
So no discussion on it. Ms. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Belsey?
Yes.
Dr. Ryan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. All right, moving on, we are up to Board of Education. Does anybody have any new or old business they want to discuss? Go ahead, Tom.
I just wanted to ask, the cell phone policy, the Delta Bell. I was reading a newsday yesterday, the article concerning how districts are spending their generous stipend from Governor Hochul, dealing with this intervention. Are we basically in place for this in terms of that? Do we need any kind of modification? Do we need any FAQs to parents concerning what to expect during the school year? I guess my general question is, where are we with this Delta Bell? And do you feel like we're in a good position, or is it going to be a process that's going to take us kind of a year to sort of tinker with?
Well, I'd say yes and yes. I think we are in a good position. As you know, we adopted the policy at the last board meeting. Both the middle school and the high school have sent out letters initially to parents with how we're going to implement this. There is still going to be a lot of work we're going to have to do around it. We have to develop a way to improve exemptions. The enforcement of this policy is going to be very difficult, I have to tell you. And I think while all of us recognize the wisdom of limiting cell phone use, including our own, they are also part of the reality of daily life, and they have been for our kids. So I think helping them to change their habits will be more of a process than one shot deal. So I think it will take some time. I also think that we have to listen to some of the feedback from our parent community about parent concerns about not being able to get in touch with their children during the day. Now, back in the day, if my mom wanted to get a message to me, she had to call the school office and just hope they got it to me. That's not true anymore. And again, we can say, well, back in the day we didn't need it, but it's a different world. So I think that we're going to have to do some work in helping parents to see that we'll do our best to kind of facilitate this process. I think we're going to have to develop some procedures and let parents know that if there is an emergency in school, we will give students an opportunity to text and call their parents. I know when we debriefed, we had a situation last spring at the high school. And one of the things that came out of the debrief is we probably should have paused for 10 or 15 minutes and said, hey, text your parents, just so you feel better and that your parents feel better. So we'll be working through all of those additional stuff, but we did, approve the policy. There is a stipend from Long Beach for about $19,000, which, will pay for a few lockers and new locks. So it's not a whole lot of money, but I think all of us are kind of motivated to kind of work with our parents and our students to make sure this works.
Thank you. I just had two other items. First is, are we in good shape as far as bus drivers and matrons are concerned for the opening of school? I mean, once school begins, right, when Labor Day appears so early, it kind of really is right upon us. So are we in good shape, bus drivers and matrons leaving the school?
Well, I'll say we're in pretty good shape in terms of, right now we have 38 routes that we are preparing for pick day, which is next Wednesday. I believe we have 37 bus drivers. So hopefully we'll fill the one vacancy, and then over the next few weeks or maybe 2 months, we'll fill some of the vacancies for our standbys. So I think we're in pretty good shape considering the shortage that's out there. We'd like some more bus drivers, so if any bus drivers are interested, please come forward and fill out an application. We'd like the opportunity to interview and to train. But I'd say that our transportation department has really done a great job consolidating our existing routes, the routes we had last year, to make sure that we can really function with 37 to 38 bus drivers, which they worked very hard on that, and we reviewed that over the past couple of months. All the work they did to make sure that we have really solid routes. So, one of our dispatchers may need to drive a little bit at the beginning, but hopefully we'll get that vacancy filled and we'll have 38 bus drivers ready to pick 38 routes.
Okay, thank you. And in line with that, once again, with Labor Day so early in the month, and the building's going to be in good shape in terms of the transition from summer camps and traffic to the arrival of students on the 3rd of September?
Yes.
In good shape?
Yes.
All right, good, thank you.
Anyone else have any?
Yes, I just have a couple of questions. So, as we all know, we've had some issues with traffic on Needle Boulevard, and it's been a major concern of ours. We've had multiple accidents, especially on Greenway, Needle Boulevard, and We have so many children riding their bikes or walking to school or rushing to work. So I'm really seeing that we might need more Nassau County to give us more supervision. So I would like the board to write a letter to Nassau County requesting an additional crossing guard so we can place some of those hazardous corners to help ensure our students' safety.
That's fine, Mrs. Conley, and if we have consensus from the board on that, I can have Ms. Family start working on that tomorrow.
Well, that would be great. So, discussion?
No, I just want to say thank you for advocating for this for a long time, and it's a long time coming. And I appreciate all your hard work. There's been a lot of meetings behind the scenes that Ms. Conrad has participated in to really see this through. So I 100% support it, and I see no issue in writing a letter. I think it would be really prudent of us to do so. So thank you.
Thank you. And I do also want to say that on a different note, the annual bag giveaway, you know how we have the school bags with the school supplies? That will be occurring on Friday from 12 to 3 in front of the Island Park Fire Department. So please let people know that bags will be given away. Mr. Mulaney will be there as well as our 4th precinct. And that's it. Thank you.
Ms. Conrad, you have any? I mean, Ms. Betsy, I'm sorry.
No.
Announcements. Oh, I'm sorry. Questions and comments from the public? I don't think we have any, that's why I skipped over it, so go ahead. Sorry, Karen. I just wanted to get some exercise.
Karen Bloomfield, BCCA. Wanted to just quickly welcome all of our new hires tonight and a special congratulations to Rich. We're really looking forward to working with you and as the rest of you, and congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the summer and let's all have a good school year.
Good evening, Giza, ASCPG. Congratulations to all the hires. Welcome Rich and Dana to our unit. And enjoy the rest of the summer, and we'll see you in September.
I don't think we have anyone here from New State, right? Correct? No, and no PTA is in attendance, so I think we can adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Enjoy the rest of your summer, everybody.
Thank you.
So we go back?
You go back already?